Hey everybody, how's it going? Happy Thursday evening. I'm Corey. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to work on a new project. And we're going to focus on WASM today especially. So I think today's mostly going to be setting up the project, doing some WASM builds and doing some WASM.js stuff in Rust. The app we're going to build is going to help make mood boards. So my wife's a graphic designer and a UX designer, and a few weeks back she mentioned that it'd be really helpful to like be able to take like a Pinterest board, for instance, and then have someone else play like swipe left, swipe right, like Tinder style with the photos. And like, I like this one, I don't like this one. I like this one, I don't like this one. And I think we're going to start building that app up. We're going to do it all in Rust. We're going to do some WASM for the front end. And I think we're going to focus on some of those WASM-y bits today, just getting that set up for us. We're going to do a relatively quick stream and just try to get some of that setup stuff nailed down. And so next time we can hit the ground running. So we're not going to use HTMX, but that's going to be the motivation for the Rust WASM stuff we work on today. So it's going to basically, we're going to try to like add attributes to standard HTML that like make the HTML more interactive. So for in this instance in HTMX, when you add this post thing, it'll do a post when you click on it, and it'll swap out the button with what is in the response when you tell it to. And so HTMX is a cool JavaScript framework that I like the ideas of. I haven't used it a ton in any big apps, but I thought it would be fun to build something kind of like it in Rust WASM. So that's what we're going to do today. And so this is going to be brand new. So let's open up VS Code and make a new project. What's the best way to do this? Let's actually start with a repo in GitHub because why not? So let's make a new repository. No template. We're gonna call this mood boards. We might change this later, but for the moment, an app to help make mood boards. Help make mood boards. And some WASM JS Rust WASM framework hidden inside. Public repo, we'll initialize it, we'll add a Rust git ignore, and we'll do Apache 2 as our license. Uh-oh. Try again. Something is still going wrong. Man. So did it actually create it and it's just lying to me? Because that would be something. Yep, it did. It just lied to me. Perfect. Let's clone it. Oh, and actually, clone git. Oh, cool. Boom. Where do I want to put it? Let's put it in projects. Yeah, projects. Yes, open the new repository. Okay. Awesome. So we've got an empty Git repo right now. Oh, we're in the wrong folder here. Mood boards. Oh, did I get the numbers wrong there? Yeah, I probably did. Mood boards. Okay, so let's do cargo new. And we're gonna need a WASM front end. So let's do front end. We're going to make this a binary because it's going to be an application. It's going to be something that we run, but we're going to need to do it in WASM. But we're 2 steps away from that. So let's make front end. Then the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to make this a cargo workspace. I always use cargo workspaces for these because I love monorepos, and we're going to have multiple Rust crates together. So let's make a top level cargo.toml. And this is works, and I can do a workspace members? Would have said it was workspace members, but cargo workspace. Workspace member. Yeah, okay, well it wants me to do it like this. And we're gonna add front end. because that's our one package at the moment. Awesome. Okay, so front end is now a binary. And so let's do some Rust WASM. So we're gonna do like wasm-bindgen. This is the crate that helps us do WASM stuff. So we need to list wasm-bindgen in our dependencies. So let's do cargo add wasm-bindgen. So wasm-bindgen allows us to, actually, let's see, what do they say? Is a Rust library and CLI tool that facilitates high-level interactions between WASM modules and JavaScript. So Rust, the compiler, knows how to create a WASM bundle, but this does the JavaScript and WASM interop. So I think it's what's going to provide us our JavaScript file that we use to load the WASM and stuff like that. So we're just going to follow along in their hello world here. We added wasm-bindgen. Oh, same exact version. Perfect. And the crate type of cdylib is what we usually use for WASM. So I'm going to add this. I'm a little worried because this says lib, and I made our thing have a main, so we'll see if we need to, what we need to do at the end here. We might end up with both, but let's find out. So in source, they do, yeah, see, so they have wasm-bindgen, and they say that there's this alert function from, it says C, but this comes from the JavaScript environment that you can use in greet, and you can use greet from JavaScript now. But what we want to do is not do that. What we want to do here is we want to run just like have a main. We're also going to use JSSys so that we can you can get pretty meta and instantiate WebAssembly modules inside WebAssembly modules. Oh, that's interesting. I don't think that's what I need to do, but it is interesting. So what I really want to do is just have something that just runs like after page load. I think that's really what I'm going to want to do. Oh, wasm-bindgen start. Yeah, what is this? This seems like what I want. When attached to a function, this attribute will configure the start section of the wasm executable to be emitted, executing the tagged function as soon as the wasm module is instantiated. Perfect. Awesome. So we might actually still want a library. We're just going to have a function start in it. That might be actually what we end up doing. So let's go that direction. Oh, hey, Modprog. Sorry, I didn't even see that you were in chat. I apologize. Let me see if I can turn up my volume there and get notifications. Ooh. I think it's always a lib with Rust Web Dev. Yeah, thank you. I was just getting there. You beat me to it. And even better TOML. I think I have even better TOML. Yeah, I do. Which is why I was confused that I wasn't getting the better completions. I thought it was gonna get workspace members when I just typed it like this, but it didn't. And I wondered why. Because I think I should be able to do it in both syntaxes. But and that's a little bit of a tangent here. Okay, so I do want a lib. We made our lib.rs. We're gonna just remove the main. We don't want it. Awesome. And so, but what I wanted to do is I want something with start. Because I want something that happens as soon as we load this in wasm-bindgen. So I'm just going to grab their prelude here so that the imports are all set up nicely. Oh, but I can't do brackets workspace members because it's an array. I gotcha. Yep, that makes sense. And I forget that I can just do workspace dot members. I forget that syntax is valid. It didn't help me at all there though with autocomplete, which is interesting. Okay, well we'll stick with this one. I think this is the one I'm more used to anyways. But thank you for helping out in chat, ModProg. Okay, so we have our thing, and we're just gonna do so I think, oh, I see. Using the JS namespace here to bind console.log instead of log. Gotcha. So this is how we can do console.log there, but I think I want to just use web-sys. So web-sys is another dependency that we're going to pull in, and it's going to let us do all kinds of JavaScript APIs. And I wonder if through web-sys or JS-sys we can just do console stuff a little easier. But that's not a huge deal. Let's just do one of these simple ones to start off with. So we're going to copy this from their examples. And so what this block is doing is it's saying there's some extern functions that exist that we want to be able to call. And this is going to give us, now we have a log function that takes a string, and now it'll call console.log for us. And that's really all that I want here. We can actually call log with all kinds of different things, but I think a string's fine, and that can be a good interface. And so now all I'm going to want to do to start with is hello from Rust. So if we load this into a page and we see in our console hello from Rust, we know that our Rust and WASM is at least doing the right thing. Because you need to put it at the top level. If you put it below workspace, it's actually workspace members. Oh, and I was just ignoring this up top because I wasn't thinking about it. But it's meaningful. It was more meaningful than I was giving it credit for. That makes sense. I was just ignoring it because I wanted to replace it, but I would have had to like comment it out or something for that to work. Thank you. Learning so much about TOML today. Okay, so we've got this. Except this isn't actually gonna like do anything yet because we also need to like create it. Oh yeah, we're gonna do without a bundler because that's gonna be way more fun. How the target web flag can be used to load code in a browser directly. For this development strategy, bundlers like Webpack are not required. Awesome. First, we'll need to add web-sys to our cargo.toml. So we already talked about web-sys. We definitely want it. So let's go ahead and add it here. I like this style when I need to add features to a dependency. I'm not used to that, but I like that one a lot. Now let's take a look at the code and see what we're using target web. We're not actually losing any functionality. Okay, it's doing more stuff than we need it to, but that's okay. It's doing the window and global stuff. We'll get there eventually. Otherwise, the rest of the deployment magic happens here. Okay. So we're gonna need to be able to return an HTML at one point, and I'm just reading a little bit. So the other option that I've done before is use trunk. And this is going to do a lot of it for us, right? So this will build, bundle, and ship your Rust WASM application to the web. But I think I want to try using less things. We already have a lot of stuff just from the WASM ecosystem in general that I think I want to try like building the WASM and everything a little bit more ourselves. Yeah, so we're going to do the web one that we can load directly into the thing. So we want like to target the web. Oh, and I think I want the wasm-bindgen CLI. We're going to need that. Oh, thank you for the follows. I appreciate it. Okay, so I need the CLI. I need the wasm-bindgen CLI, which is this. I think I need to run this manually on my M1 because I read somewhere that they don't ship pre-compiled binaries for that. One moment, team. Gotta do some mod stuff in chat. Good luck. Good thing we're doing this anyways. Oh, 'cause Hehehe. Not opposed to that mod prog if you want to be hanging out and stuff. There we go. That at least works for now. I'll figure out the block in a bit. I also would have had taken longer to mod you, I think, as well. But I think we're good now. And I have the buttons up so I can delete more messages if they come through. Because I didn't do a block quite yet. Oh, wait, I can do that from here. Aha! Report. That. Oh my gosh, now I have to click spam. Okay, we're getting there. Spam. Or no, it was a scam. Phew, okay. Got it all done there. Except now I have a big pop-up on my screen that I can't get to go away. There we go. I figured it out. Whew. Took a little longer than I wanted, but that is okay. Okay, so now I should be able to do wasm-bindgen target web, and it should do us a thing. Uh-oh. Whoa. That console got a little messed up. We're gonna start over there. CD frontend, wasm-bindgen target web. So I guess I don't know how to use it. I thought it was just that. Oh, outdoor is a required path? Usage. To tweak the JavaScript that's generated. I guess I actually don't know how this works quite yet. I thought I did. So let's take a step back. Hello world. Ooh, I like blocking the term followers with automod. That makes a lot of sense. I don't think I've seen like a case where that, hard to say without trying it, but that sounds great. I like that a lot. I'll definitely think about that. Thank you. Okay, so I thought this was gonna be the easy part, but it's taken me just a second to get started, but that's okay. Well, similar to the newer, yeah, but I don't want this one. I'm gonna use the web one. This doesn't even tell me how to run it. It just tells me that I want to use target web, which is great, but also like, come on. Okay, wasm-bindgen CLI example. That's where I just was though. I was just at this command line interface. But they're giving it, so I think, do I just need to do cargo build target, and then I want to target wasm unknown, and then release. So that might be what I wanted. And I can put the target, I think, in somewhere. I'm not actually sure where though off the top of my head. And it doesn't go there because it's going to go in the target folder of mood board, our workspace. And then this is a release one though, and it should be for release optimized. Yep. Feel like that's where it should have put it. Wasm 32 unknown release. Oh, target wasm 32 unknown, then release. Then I have frontend.wasm. There we go. So I'm gonna just steal this and make this my wasm-bindgen. And I need an outdoor. Okay, outdoor. Out. And then what's in my out directory? There we go. Okay, that makes sense. So what we get here are 4 files. We get a frontend.js, which actually we can just look at that one. It's not pretty, but we can look at it. So what this is supposed to do is this loads the WASM, and actually we can look at how they want you to use it, because that was a good example in the without a bundler example. Awesome. So without a bundler.js, this is the JS file, like frontend.js. That's the one we're going to load, and that's the where they tell you to init. So this eventually creates a init sync and an init method as the default that will load the WASM. It even has the name hard-coded here, though you can give it a different one. We'll load the WASM and initialize it and get it all ready, and should run our run function. So now we need something that can do 2 things: serve all of these JS's, all the things from this out here, and we want it to be able to return an HTML page with this stuff in it. And for that, we're gonna need a server. So we have our front end, and we should maybe just make a commit now. We have a front end, and actually, cool. We already have a git ignore that's going to ignore the target directory for us, so we're good there. Add a basic WASM front end, but we need a server to serve it from. Awesome. And these d.ts files are TypeScript files. We don't need them, but if we were integrating with a TypeScript project, we might want them because they would give us some types for everything. But we don't have, we're not going to be doing TypeScript, so we probably don't need those. And actually, did I want to include the out directory here? I did not. That's a good thing I didn't push this yet, just because it would be a little harder. Unwhip just gets rid of my last commit. It's just an alias I have. And in our git ignore, we're going to also add front end out. So I could put this in target because it's already ignored, and that's where we usually do things. But I think I want to make an output directory in front end and do it this way. So we're going to do it here. Add front end wasm package and don't commit its output. We just want the source code. We don't need the compiled WASM file in Git. So that is going to mean that our build process here is going to be a little annoying. We're going to have to compile this front end, and then we can compile this new server that we're going to make, but it's okay. We will survive. So we have a server. And in our server, we're going to need some things. So our server is probably going to be a Axum project, because that is what I've been doing for the most part. So we're going to need some things. We're going to need Tokyo. We're going to need Axum. We're going to use Maud for the HTML rendering stuff, and we're going to do Mite for error tracking. And I'm just going to go ahead and add all of these. Oh, and that's warning me that I need to add server to this. Tell it that there is more members of our workspace. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to do Rust, Axum. So I'm going to focus more on the front end stuff in this stream. If you want to learn more about Axum or watch me build some stuff, I just was wrapping up a CDN caching proxy that used Axum heavily. So you can definitely check out those streams if you're looking for that. Oh, did my ad not do anything? Oh, yeah, it didn't. Cool. Well, let's do it again. And we get 0620 of Tokyo. Perfect. So we're going to go to this branch. And I just want a hello world example to copy from. Oh no, I don't know is Byte even running right now? I see you redeemed Treat Byte, but I don't even see Byte hanging out with us on stream. I need to figure out what's going on with them. Thank you for trying, but I don't even see Byte. Byte was our little ghost that was floating around with us, but he seems to have gone missing. Okay, can I run this? This should just be a simple... oh, because I probably didn't do cargo add Tokyo-F full. So I just want all of Tokyo. Oh, not Tokyo-on though. So Tokyo has feature flags for things like its macros and stuff like that. And I could have found exactly the ones that I wanted, but it's easier for it to do all, and that's not the focus of this project, so all is fine. Uh-oh, maybe we didn't treat Byte enough and they left. Yeah, that's fair. They're gone now. We gotta bribe them back with more treats. So localhost 3000. 3000 is what we're at. Yay, hello world, and a nice H1 tag. Perfect. And then what I really want to do here is change this to anything that impulls into response. Which is what I like doing for Axum stuff. And in here, what I want to do is do from Maud, use the Maud. Oh no, from Maud, use the HTML macro. And then we can just recreate that hello world in Maud. Hello world from Rust. There we go. Into response is not satisfied. I think it's probably because I need to do a feature from out. Yay! Cargo run. And we get hello from Rust now. Awesome. Okay, so that's great and awesome and everything. But I also need to load that WASM. So let's see if we can load that WASM. So basically, we need to add this whole script thing up here. So we're just rendering just that. So let's actually render some more elements here. I want to, oops, that's not what I wanted. I just want to change this from parentheses to brackets because I feel like that's what I'm more used to. And then we're going to do this. Okay, so we actually, first we want an HTML element. They added a head with a content type, which is good practice. We're not going to do that because it's just fine. Okay, and then I want a script tag. And the type is module. We don't want a source because we're just going to do it this inline style. We're going to do it differently. And then inside of it, we want this whole pre-escaped string. And it's just going to be this. Okay. So it may look like this already, but there's our handy default init function that uses fun. But I'm missing something. Yeah, I'm missing this. Because I need to actually do the import to get this, but it's not going to be package, it's going to be front end. And it can be with package here. Cool. I don't really like this whole comment. There's just a lot to it, and I think it's a little too much for it to be helpful here. And then we actually don't really need, that means we could use the things, but we are just going to rely on the stuff that comes like in that run or in that start function. So yeah, we really should just be calling init, and that should then call our start function for us and everything once it's loaded. Awesome. And so now, if we cargo run again and we load our local host, actually let's open up our inspector first. You can see there's just the H1 at the moment. And now we get this script tag with this good stuff in it. But if we go to our console, package/frontend.js doesn't load at all. So I think the next step is to get package/frontend.js to load. And I think to do that, there's a few options here, and I think we're gonna take the pretty easy one. And we're gonna say that there's a thing called package, and then it's frontend.js, and it's a get, and it's the wow, that's like almost exactly what I wanted, except just a little bit different. Server, oh, it's one more out. Wow, okay. So it's trying to use this private struct, some body bytes. Hey, Opus Bopus, how's it going? Okay, so body bytes from bytes as ref. Dot into response. No method set content type on response. Oh, come on. Axum set content type. There's got to be a better way to do this than that. Content type. Oh yeah, there's a header that we could add. So I can do like things kind of with the kind of just like have them be headers at the end. So I could do something like that. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I wanted one of, and I think it's the other way around because it wants me to do, it's doing headers first here and then the body. Opus says, been doing okay, found a critical vuln in something which was fun and have been writing a lot of Go. How have I been? I've been good. We've been working on our caching proxy CDN, so today is fun because we're starting on something new, and it's always fun to start on something new. So we're starting on the app that we're gonna make is gonna help like make mood boards for my wife who's a designer, but we're gonna do it in WASM, and we're gonna try to do like an HTMX style framework, and so we're just getting started with some WASM stuff at the moment. Not in quotes. What was the critical vulnerability you found in something? That sounds fun. Is that in something that you can chat about, or is it public at the moment? Because that sounds pretty fun. Where do you get mime from? Oh, I don't have mime in this one. Where was mime in the other one? Oh, mime came from it just asking, like it just guessed. Copilot just created this for me. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. That makes sense of where it grabbed that from. What if I just do this? Do you know where? Like, can you import that from anywhere? No. Ooh, just finished the write-up and submitted the report a little while ago. That's awesome. You'll have to let us know how that goes, and when the report's public, definitely send it along. We're just gonna hard code this string for now. Again, we're trying to focus on, well, I guess this is more WASM related, so maybe something we're trying to focus on, but we can make that the constant it wants to be later if we feel so obliged. Okay, and then too many stuff over here. There's just... Oh, it just needs a semicolon. That was easier than I thought it was. Cool. Okay, so we just take in this package and return it as text JavaScript. And then we're going to do like... Oh, I don't like that formatting. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, I like it like that better. We're going to... No. We're going to do another one, except it's front-end underscore background. I'm not sure why that it's like that, but it is. WASM. And then it's front-end underscore background WASM. And then what's the WASM MIME type? That's a great question. Application WASM. Okay, and with this, so includes bytes is gonna like pull them in at compile time. So like these things need to be in the output directory when I compile, but they're there now, so that's fine. Ooh, hello from Rust. We got our console.log, which means all of those network requests works. We got our JavaScript file, and then we got our application WASM file. Wow, the WASM file is actually tiny compared to the JavaScript file. The JavaScript file's like, it's actually not huge, but it's way bigger than this WASM. The WASM's tiny. Wow, is that just it? I'm assuming this is more binary than that, right? That's not just actually a... Yeah, that's a binary. That's just how the browser's rendering it. That's pretty cool then. But let's read more about Opus's vulnerability. It's not public yet, and I don't really plan on going super public about it just because I've been mentally exhausted from a lot of things, and realistically, I just want the bounty to have extra money for moving. Should be classified soon in their system and probably have a CVE and whatnot. Bunch of stuff I haven't really dealt with, so I just hope it isn't too annoying. Yeah, that's fair. I haven't dealt with any of that either. But I would love to hear about how the bounty program and all that goes for you when you're more done and not quite as tired from it. I totally understand that. But definitely sounds like some fun new stuff, and always great to get a little bit of extra cash, especially for something like that. I'll hope with you that it's not a ton of work on the tail end here, so hopefully it's not too bad. Okay, well, let's commit the server because that worked great. Get a very simple Axum server set up that can return our WASM. Okay, so let's just play around with some WASM for the moment before we actually get started on building the front end we want to build. Because I want to be able to do things like actually make DOM objects from WASM. And so let's do that. So we're gonna need some more stuff. Oh wait, did we already pull in WebSys with all these things? Document element, HTML element, node, and window. Yes, we did. Cool. Okay, so now we can just actually like start just doing JavaScript-y like things, which is fun, but we'll see in a second that it is a bit tedious just because of how the syntax looks. Oh, and cool. I was a little worried about the return type of this start function because it didn't return anything, and I was worried that was going to be an issue. Seems like I can just plop a return type on it and it'll all be great. And we should be able to do that. So I guess actually to run this, I probably want a script. So let's make a new run.sh script. Notes.coreyja.com because I will never remember the syntax of a freaking shebang at the top of a file. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to cd to front end. Well, and I'll get the directories right in a second. And I want to do cargo build -- target wasm 32 unknown release, and then I want to do wasm-bindgen. We need to go out to get to the target directory, then into wasm, then in release, front end wasm, out dir is going to be just out. Oh, and I guess I don't know if I did this before. I guess I must have when I did it before, but I don't remember that, to be honest. And then we're gonna cd to the server, and now we can go cargo run. Except the other thing that I want to do here is work in the git root. I love this one. So at the beginning, we're going to do a push D, and at the end, we do a pop D. And what this is going to do is it's going to move us. So push D and pop D push D moves you into a directory and adds where you were before to a stack that it remembers. And pop D goes back to the first thing from the stack and then removes it. So you can use it to like go into and come back out of directories nicely. So we're going to use that to get into the git root. So this gets the git root directory, and then I can do everything relative to that. So I can cd to front end, knowing that no matter where here I was, we're now operating in front end. And the nice thing about doing popd at the end is it doesn't mess with the current directory no matter how you run this script, which is awesome. So here, if I do the chmod plus x to start, it's to run. Now I can even call run.sh from in server, and it just, does the right thing. We are now running here, and I should be able to, hello from Rust, let's change that message. Hello from Rust, with a new script. Do our run, and we get hello from Rust with a new script. Opus says, it is in Windows, which is always fun. I honestly thought it was nothing, but I just kept messing around because I was bored. That sounds like the fun, that sounds like the best way to do it, right? Just like poking around and keep poking at it until something breaks. That sounds great. I haven't done Windows stuff in a long time though, so it's got to be different. But I don't know, maybe if you're more used to it, it's not different. Just more different for me for sure. Okay, so we've got our script, and it doesn't do any watching or anything, so every time we want to make changes, we need to redo it, but that's fine for the moment. And so with WebSys, we can do things like just call window, and then what's kind of annoying with how this works though is window may or may not exist because we're in Rust. We don't know that it exists. Wow, we'll just try this whole thing. That was pretty cool. So window might not exist, so we have to unwrap it. And then we call window.document, and that might not exist. And then body might not exist. And so just to keep the Rust type safety, there's lots of things to unwrap, lots of options to unwrap. Oops. So it's not super pleasant and rusty to work with, but it does totally work. And so we could append child, create this element that is an h1, and I think we can probably set its body or something. Text content. Oh, we can set text content to a new h1 appeared. And it expected an option of this, so I have to give it a sum. Expected. Wait, what? Append child. Okay. So let mutable new h1 equals this part of it. And then I can do new h1.set text content, and we'll copy this. So what the compiler was telling me is this method, set text content, doesn't return the object anymore. It's just going to mutate it. It doesn't even take a mutable reference. That's a little concerning. But let's see if this works. And then what I want to do is just new h1, just pass that to append child. Opus says, screw it, unsafe everything and do it with raw pointers. That's the one thing that I don't really want to ever try is raw pointer stuff. I got into Rust because I didn't want to have to actually think about raw pointers ever, and it's worked out well for me so far. We're gonna see how far I can keep pushing that one. Modprog says you'd like a wrapper that does all the panicking implicitly. Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. I like that idea, right? It would at least cut down on all this boilerplate. Another thing that would be really nice is if I could just do that, but like I can't because we're returning a result and not an option, and I don't like. And maybe there's some fun trait returny stuff we can do. Maybe we'll try to mess with that eventually. It doesn't need to be mutable. Yeah, see, this is a little scary. I can just create an element and then like it doesn't follow, because we're in DOM land and we're in JS land, it doesn't have to follow mutability, because creating this new h1 creates this element like struct. So as we can see, that's what it returns, but I don't ever have to mutate this. I just have to like set the DOM. So technically this set text content doesn't mutate this struct, it just changes something in the DOM, which is like our just mutable global state essentially. So that's just a little weird. Nothing to do about it, just a little weird. Not until the try trait is stabilized. Yeah, that's fair, Modprog. That makes sense because we're, yeah. I hadn't got that far, but that definitely makes sense. But this works now, in case we weren't paying attention, team. Like I kind of wasn't. We can see that, you know, our new h1 appeared as soon as we load the page, and it's not, and like you can kind of tell that it does, like it flashes, it flickers a little bit, so it's not there initially, and then it gets added once we run. And so that's pretty awesome. I think we might actually need to start building part of an application now, team. We can like do things. And so we might be ready to like see how far we can push this and make ourselves a little bit of an application. So let's see what we want to do. We want to make a commit is what we want to do. What have we done since the last commit? Oh, we created a little run script for us. Love that. And tried some DOM stuff. Awesome. Now we don't have to remember the build steps. And proved we can do DOM things. Yeah, oh wait, we're on, yeah, we're developing on main right now. Still waiting for Yeet to stabilize. I love that they used Yeet to avoid bike shedding and then everyone fell in love with it. And now like lots of people, I'm not sure lots, I know there are people who want Yeet stabilized without changing the keyword. But yeah, no, we can all dream. I agree, but can't a gal dream? Yeah, I can dream of the Yeet keyword. What does the Yeet keyword do for us? I don't even remember. Let's Google that real quick. Let's take a detour. I've read it before, but I don't remember. Are we Yeet yet? Yeah, keep it. Everyone loves Yeet. Oh, that site doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. Try trait v2 Yeet. This isn't the best explanation of what it is. You return a value but can continue. Yeet is like a partial return. You return a value but can continue later. Oh. Okay. I'll have to think through that more. Because I hear what you're saying, but it's not clicking for me quite yet how that would be used or anything. But I love the name, for sure. The do Yeet expression syntax in functions returning your type. It's for generators. Wait. That's yield. That makes more sense for yield. Yep, that makes more sense though. Yeet's more like throw, right? Because people want to maybe call it throw or bail or something like that. Yeah, definitely don't let me keep you up. This will be on YouTube if you really don't want to miss it, but definitely don't let me keep you up. Get some sleep if you need it. Okay, so did we do a commit? No, we started doing a commit. What stopped us from doing a commit? No, we just didn't push our commit. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so now we need to do some appy stuff. We need to actually like do a thing. So I'm gonna write out a plan doc because it's gonna help me figure out what we want to do here. Is this a plan doc? Is it a README? I don't know. Tasks. No, yeah, so we do maybe want a task list, but let's do this README. What is it? The app is a simple mood is a simple mood board maker where the user can thumbs up or thumbs down images to add them to the mood board. The mood board can be saved as a PNG file. We're not even gonna do that. And we're gonna say to rate them. The list of images is provided by an admin user who can see the results of which images were liked and disliked. Okay, so that's the goal. That's like kind of the app that we're gonna build. And so we're probably gonna need like a database to save stuff to and stuff, and we'll probably just use SQLite for that to make it easy. But probably for today, we're not gonna think about any of that, and we're just gonna do some in-memory stuff to like prove out that we can do some things, because we really want everything here to be driven by the front end. We're gonna try to make this kind of single page appy, but not 100%. Or I guess I should say not really single page appy, because we're gonna go for a more HTMX inspired like frameworky stuff here. But we definitely want so we're definitely gonna need to do more driven from HTML. Like we're gonna generate HTML on the back end and then send that to the front end where it gets made interactive by our library. So I think the first thing that we need to do is like maybe we'll try to get a page rendered with like our like, you know, the image we're trying to render, and then some thumbs up and thumbs down buttons and all that stuff. And then like try to click on one and have some stuff happen and stuff like that. That sound like a plan? I think that sounds like a plan. Okay. So create basic layout of picture with rating buttons. Did you do so? Then clicking either rating button will change the picture. Clicking either rating button will store the rating for the picture, something like that. Oh, thank you for the follow, Danny Yel Salim. I'm really bad with usernames. I'm sorry. I probably just butchered that. Ooh, I like the font I'm using. Which one am I using? It's one of the, I think it's Comic Code, I believe, is the one I am using right now. Yes, Comic Code. I started using it like almost ironically and kind of love it. And haven't looked back. So yeah, it has both ligatures and non-ligatures depending on which one you like, so got lots of different styles. I'm running with ligatures, so you'll see all the connected arrows. I've used Comic Code for quite a few months. I was using a different one. I was using Victor Mono for a while, which I also really like. This one's a really good font too. But it has, and one of the things I really liked about it is it has parts that get little cursive, things that go italics get nice and cursive. But for streaming, I found that that was a lot harder for people to read on stream and just was distracting. So we switched to comic code a while ago. Comic code is definitely my favorite font. Yeah, it's a really good one. It's a great one. I think you were on stream the first time I used comic code Opus and were telling me how much you loved it. I just remember that. And then modprog says, right, do yeet error is syntactic sugar for error, or almost the same as return error. Yeah, so it's just like a simpler way to return an error without wrapping it in error and doing the into yourself and all that stuff. That makes sense. Ooh, we're comparing fonts. I like it. Let's see what this one looks like. Mononoke, a font for programming and code review. Oh, what makes it special? Is there special things in it for code review? Or just calling out code review as another place you see lots of code? I haven't thought about that. That's interesting. I like that though. It looks pretty. And it's nice and playful too. I like fonts that are slightly more playful. It's not super rigid looking. Just a monospaced font. That makes sense. Yeah, I was just curious what code review was about. It is pretty funny that Comic Sans is a joke, like was kind of a joke font, but it's just super readable. There's all this research about how it's like really good for people with dyslexia, and I don't think it is one that I don't think that was the purpose of it, but it was found out after, and now it's used in lots of places because of how readable it is and how helpful it can be for dyslexia. Mona Lisa. Okay, what's this one? We're gonna look at all kinds of fonts today. Oops. Mona Lisa font. It's not a great sign when their site takes a while to load. Oh, nice. Yeah. It looks like a good. Ooh, and it does have the script one. I like the scripts. I like script fonts. They're fun. I don't totally agree they're harder for me to read, but they are kind of fun. I like this. I really like the more playful ones, and this one's a bit playful with some of the characters, but just doesn't have quite that same feel to me. I'm really loving comic code. It's great. Okay, so some of the tasks. We need a basic layout. We're gonna click the button, we'll change the picture, and we also then are gonna want to save the results. The reason I wanted to separate those is because this is gonna require a database, and I wanted like maybe try to get through these two tonight without a database. That would be really nice. Write some stuff. I can read so Opus says that I completely forgot how to read cursive, so script fonts are scary. I for some reason can read it reasonably well, at least with the script fonts. I've never had that problem, but I struggle with write. Like if I try to write it, I'm stopping every other letter because I don't know how to do it, unless it's one of like the 5 letters in my name, or at least my first name. I definitely don't know how to write it. It's kind of funny, just in general. Okay, so let's get a list of images. So let's just go to Pexels and like just grab some stock photos. Yay, stock photos. Can I just like, I kind of want to just like link to it. Is it easy to just copy image address, and does this look stable enough? Yeah, we're not going to do it a ton, so I don't feel too bad about just linking to Pexels. Mogpark says, I can write cursive, but I'm the only one that will be able to read it. Well, that's my handwriting regardless of cursive or not, so... Yeah, I'm with you there, Opus. That's exactly what I was saying. Except for the end. I definitely don't have an officially diagnosed writing disorder or anything, so I think this one's definitely just an on me thing. I don't think I have anyone to blame here but myself. Okay, so what were we doing? We're just gonna put these, I want to put these images somewhere. I was gonna try to do something like the correct way, which would be to like put it in a static data. What's the lazy static? That's the crate I was looking for. But the other way to do it is just to have there be a method that returns a vec of strings, and I can just do that. Yay! And then there's gonna be another image. It's this image. Oh, cool. It has some more attributes on it. That's fine though. Vec of static strings. Opa says it's probably another reason I fell in love with computers early on. Let me get my thoughts without any worry of the I can't talk. Let me get my thoughts out without the worry of and all the annoyances of pen and paper. Yeah, that totally makes sense. I'm not really sure if it's like because I gravitated to computers my handwriting got bad, or I gravitated because my handwriting was so bad, but definitely one of those two things. They definitely interplay in some way for sure. Okay, so I think what I want to do is let there be an image URL. Wow, love that. So from our images URLs, we want to choose a random image, and that's going to need the rand crate. And I love that. What is this? Copilot just like knew exactly what I was going for and just pulled that out for me. Okay, so in body we have our script tag, but then we could just plop in that image. It's mad that we dropped this really quickly, so let's not. And I think I could probably do choose dot cloned dot unwrap. That'll work too. Now when I just get an owned string back instead of a... Wait, that's not an owned string. It's still a reference to a string. Cloned. Oh, it cloned the reference? No, that shouldn't have been owned by that. Why did I need this? Temporary value dropped while borrowed. Because it references the vec. Even... So, oh, because I had a reference to a reference. Because what's inside is this. Choose gives me a reference to it. So the first reference... Yeah, okay. Yep. Clone gets rid of the reference to it, but it's still a reference to a static string. That makes sense. Opa says, my handwriting is actually better than it was when I was in grade school, but it's probably because of the removed overwhelming anxiety of existing in a school. Yeah, that sounds about right. School is definitely not the best environment for everyone to learn all the time, which is kind of ironic given its purpose, isn't it? Okay, but let's see if we got our localhost imagey thing working. Hey, that's an image. That's still the same image. Oh, there we go. Now it's a different image. And a different image. And a different image. And a different image. Yay! Ooh, wow. Oh, because that's the one without the query params. How about we add all the same query params, because I don't need a huge image. And they can save their bandwidth and compress it to a smaller version for me. That's perfect. Love it. Yeah, great. Great. Okay. So now we need some buttons. Let's add some buttons. We're going to get to styling eventually, but we might make that a not today thing, because we think it would also be really fun to have my wife, Brandi, who's the designer that we're doing all this for, like design a nice little site for us. and then we can style it like that. So I think we will try to do that and do it on the following stream. Opus says about school, it's really good at teaching a few, decent at teaching some, and horrible at teaching everyone else from what I gather. I think that's pretty fair, right? It works really well for some people. Yeah, I like that. Well for some, decent for, really good for a few, decent for some, and pretty bad for everyone else. Yeah, that sounds about right. It like optimizes for like, you know, average-ish results across the board instead of for individual people. Hard problem to solve, but definitely not the best. Okay, so we have some thumbs down and thumbs up buttons. And actually, I guess right for now, maybe we can just make this say next image, and it's just gonna load the next image. And we can add another button later. We don't need that right now. Just rearranging some stuff. We're going to put hello from Rust at the top up here. Then we're going to do our image with next image, and this is still going to come in because why not? Opus says, thankfully, I soak programming information like a sponge, so in the last 8 years, I've accidentally made a career path for myself. Gotta love that, right? Gotta love happening into a career path. And even better, happening into a career path that I, at least speaking for myself, but I think you as well, Opus, really enjoy. It's always really nice to have a career that you really love. Okay, so we want to click this next image button, and we want to switch out this image. And so if we go to HTMX, this is like actually their first example, like on the quick start here, is where when you have a button and you want to do a post to some URL, and then you want to swap out the entire outer HTML with what comes back. And like, this is what we're gonna do some stuff of. And so they use HX as their prefix, and I don't know, we're gonna have to make it, we're gonna do a different prefix. I'm not really sure what it's gonna be yet, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. Maybe it'll be CJA, just to go with my Corey JA branding. It's probably just gonna be that. So can I just do like CJA click? Oh. CJA-on : click. What does that render to? First of all, is that okay? It is gonna compile. What HTML is that gonna give me? The exact same HTML, the exact same, like literally line for line, the exact same. That's awesome. Opus says, my journey was basically, oh, I can make money for this. Oh, I can make a lot of money from doing these less than legal things. Heck, that's not worth it. I like that. That's a good origin story. I feel like there's a short little comic or short story there. I like that. I don't really think I like the syntax that Copilot came up with. I think it's gonna be more like when you click it, it does a post to the next image. No, I might just steal their post and have this be like you know, when it's a clickable, a button with a post. Do I want anything to be clickable with a post? This is where we get into like frameworky questions, and I don't know the answer to them. But I do like this. I do like you do the posty thing, and it posts to this thing. But then I think we need to do a, like, what do you do with it? I kind of like this better. When you click, it does something with this URL, and the method of that is post. And then with the response, I guess maybe one of the responses is knowing how to replace it. And then like we can replace self or something. I think that's pretty reasonable, right? So this is gonna do a, and actually let's make this a get, because I don't need it to be a post right now. So when you click this thing, it's gonna go to next image, do a get, and it's going to replace, oh, and I actually don't want it to replace self, replaceable image. Let's have it replaceable image. Perfect. Actually, let's do replace ID. No, that's a little, like, this is definitely easier, but it means I have to implement more probably. Let's do replace ID for now, and we can always add that later. And then replace ID, yeah. Ooh, Opus said, talking about getting into dive into Go and figure out how this language operates at a lower level. It's always fun to dig deeper into the abstractions. That's one thing I've really liked about Rust, is like being able to dig step by step a little deeper into things than I was used to from Ruby. And it's been a lot of fun. Okay, so we have this all set up. This is gonna do mostly what we want, and let's set up this next image, or let's just do random image. Let's set up this random image route really quick. Random image. I kind of liked the get with the just get block async move style, where we just write this pretty inline. Oh, didn't want that get there. Yeah, don't want to wrap you in that. There we go. Perfect. So when you hit random image, and actually we can try that out by just going to random image, and we should get just the image tag, nothing else. We actually don't even get the body returned, and actually we can probably check that out here. It's just the image tag, and that's it, which is going to be perfect for just doing a swap and doing a replace. Okay. Opus says, it's always been interesting to me just how fast their compile times are, considering it is really fast. Yeah, that's fair. Go compile times are really, really quick, and it is impressive that it like is producing a both typed and compiled thing so quickly. Because like, you know, there is type checking. It isn't just, this is a tangent, but I've been doing a lot of TypeScript. I do TypeScript at work, and this week or recently we were talking about the TypeScript compiler versus Babel versus some of these other SWC things that just like strip out the type information from a TypeScript file to convert it back to JavaScript versus ones that actually compile. And there are gotchas to the just stripping type information, especially when you import and export between stuff. And it was just really interesting. Like the TypeScript one is so slow, and one reason for that is because it does do all the type checking. And that just, it made me think of what you were saying about Go being so fast. I would love it if TypeScript actually did all of that just faster, because I don't really like the Babel style just strip out the type information stuff. I'd much rather actually have some compilation going on somewhere. But that is completely unrelated to most of anything. So let's get a document reference here. Let's just grab it. Then I can just do document, create element, just a little bit faster there. This is, again, just document. Okay, and now I want to set up some callback. Document dot on click. Actually, I wonder how to do what I want to do. Set on, oh yeah, that's what I want. So set on click. So I want to attach an event listener. JS attach click listener document. Add event listener, yeah, and then click. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and I actually do want it on body. Okay, document.body .unwrap. Add event listener. There we go. With callback. What are these two options here? With callback. That wasn't that helpful though. I wanted to see what the other ones are. With callback and Boolean. Got it. With callback and Boolean and wants untrusted. Okay, got it. I do want something like that. Cool. It wanted mouse event. We're gonna need to add that to our feature. So that's the thing with WebSys to stop it from being huge. By default, you have to like opt into like each class that you want. Expected a reference to a JavaScript function, found a reference to a closure. Yeah. This API requires the following create features be activated. Event target. Well, let's add that. Oh. Oops, that's not the right spelling of that, but that's okay. Yeah. Add event listener with callback. Just hoping they were gonna have an example there. They don't really, but that's okay. Basically I just need to figure out how to make a JS function. Heck, bed comfy. Oh, I bet. Bed's so comfortable after like a long day or anything like that. Just so nice to just slink into a bed. Especially your bed. I went away to my sister's wedding recently, which was great and awesome, but really missed just our own bed and being able to, like, you know, sleep in your own bed. It's great. I do not want to do this with an as. I'd rather not do this. On the closure page. Wow. Okay, so it does want a closure. It says to do a new one. Oh yeah, that's fair. Especially like they're really good at power recently, and like no fans, really good bed laptop. Hadn't even thought of that, but that's totally true. Okay, so I'm just copying some code here, but oh, that had an as. I didn't even realize that had an as in it there. It totally did though. And then this should just be a reference to callback is the idea if it's gonna work. And it might not. What are you mad about? Unexpected semicolon. That closes that, that closes that, that closes that. Yeah, all of those are closed. But it's very unhappy about something. Oh, that. There we go. Oh, yeah, and I am gonna need to tell it what type of closure it is potentially. Oh, that's interesting. Can I give you a mouse event? Type annotations needed. But what if I actually need it to take that argument? That's interesting. Can you just add it for me? No? Okay. A closure of this. Oh, not double though. Yeah, except I really want this to be of a mouse event. Oh. Hey, that might have been it. Okay, let's see though. It's just gonna report that it was clicked in a console. Okay, localhost, new page, go to our console. Hey, closure invoked recursively or after being dropped. Okay. Oh, that's fair. Do I have to like not drop this thing? Oof. How do I make sure that happens? Note which uses an asref to get a JS value from our closure, which is then converted to a reference function using the unchecked reference. I sleep with light and sound due to CPSD and such helps with lots of nightmares. So having a laptop that will charge to 100 in an hour and high battery even when sleeping is amazing. Oh yeah, I totally bet. Well, I want the opposite of mem forget, right? I want mem keep alive because it seems like by the time this closure, by the time like hitting OK here is gonna drop. Oh, so forget. That's what you said. Sorry, you told me the answer, and I read mem forget as mem drop, which wouldn't have worked, and also isn't even in mem, I don't think. So I just wasn't doing this right. With a reference instead of an own value does nothing. Yes, that does make sense. What does mem forget? It doesn't return anything. Wait, is forget what I want? Yeah, because forget is the thing that memory leaks it. It never runs the destructor. But like, oh. I just need to give this a new name. No, but I can't do that because it has a borrow. How is this supposed to work? Interval handler. Wait, what's this? Oh, is this things that just need to be held on to? I know, drop is pretty much a scam. I agree with that. Um, do I just need, I think I just need to hang on to this. Yeah, they just don't drop it. Exactly, right? They just like make a struct to throw it in. Stuff to hold onto. Click. Callback is one of those. Yep. Oh, it is going to need to be public because we're going to return it from our function here. So then let stuff equals stuff to hold on to. There we go. So that's interesting. And then what I was saying, or at least I think if you override drop and don't manually drop your struct props, it doesn't drop those. I'm not actually that sure, to be honest. That's probably fair, right? If I implemented drop manually and then didn't do anything. But I still feel like things might get out of whack, right? Because then the Rust compiler probably is allowed to move stuff if it thinks there's drop. So it feels, and I know you weren't proposing this as like a, like amazing solution, but I'm not positive I think that would work great. Oh, and now it's just not going to work? Because the trait isn't satisfied? Which is like absolutely oh, this isn't a start. This is just run. Okay, that makes sense. But like, so do I just, is the answer that I don't do this? That's what that example does for what it's worth. Sorry, what does the example do? Oh, it does implement. Oh, wow. I didn't read this. I skipped right over this. Thank you for pointing that out, Opus. Oh. That's interesting. Yeah, it just isn't. Oh. Don't manually drop your struct props. It doesn't drop those. Yeah, but that feels weird, right? Because now there's just like uninitialized memory almost floating around. That feels like asking for undefined behavior. I know it's right here in the docs. You're totally right, but like that feels like asking for undefined behavior, right? I don't know. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it doesn't sound like either of us know exactly, which is pretty fair. wasm-bindgen start. How about we just do callbacks? No, I don't want to receive them. How to pass callbacks to this method. Oh, so that's just before they worked. Got it. Okay, so that's just pretty old. We can pass closures. Yep, so let's read this a little bit. One of the things that we can do is access stack data in Rust. Cool. Set up a clock on our page and update it every second to ensure it's got an accurate date. Yeah, this looks interesting. So we make a closure. Window dot this as ref unchecked. And it just works? According to the Rust docs drop, it'll still drop the inner values, which does make sense after thinking about it. Okay, so it is actually, so those things are getting dropped. It's just, this is the manual stuff you want to do in drop or something like that. You can't call drop yourself. Great, but you can call mem drop. Cool. But that doesn't really explain to me. So they would do the returny thing, but like I'm confused by that just a little bit. But it definitely makes sense that this is just it does make sense that this is just gone by the time I need it. And what if I just do Rust WASM sleep? How do I just do sleeping? That's not really what I wanted. I just wanted to keep this alive for a little while. Can I just do a thread sleep for 5 seconds? Expected comma. Oh. Oh, let's try it. It didn't yell at me. Yeah, I did it fast enough and it's still here. Oh, actually, no, it's because it panicked and it just blew up and it couldn't clean itself up. So I guess sleep doesn't work, which is pretty reasonable. But because I panicked, I can now do things. That's absurd. That's so silly. Yeah, so if I just make this a panic, it'll leave everything in place for me and just let me do all my stuff. Oh, that's absurd. But it's working. But it's pretty absurd. Can I also just change this to a loop? Yeah. I know it wastes CPU cycles. But now I'm blocking the main thread and I can't actually like do anything. So that's not the way to do it. I might end up with the panic solution, which is absurd. keep the callbacks alive. Because once I attach the callbacks, I think I can panic. Like, it definitely worked. And I, like, think I'm okay with it. Like, if my closures still work, we're just gonna panic. Yeah, I think we're just gonna panic. I'm gonna keep this down here so that when I comment out the panic, it doesn't do that. Instead of an own value, does nothing. Wait. Calls to forget with a reference instead of an own value does nothing. Let to ignore the expression or result. Yeah, that does make sense. And I think I tried this already, right? It just tells me I can't. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. There's the answer. You were right. You'd have to forget before asref. Well, I can't. I think that's what I tried before. I can't forget here because then I can't call asref. But if I rename it so that I can actually still get to CB, I can forget it afterwards and it's fine. So that makes sense. Like, doesn't really make sense, but it kind of makes sense. And I don't need this struct to hold on to things, and we can't sleep, so let's get rid of that. Okay. That was a little bit of an adventure to get us here, but now we can at least do clicks. We can get the click, and we have a mouse event too, so it like has all of the stuff that we clicked on, which is awesome. So from our event, like what can we do? Like, can we get the target? Yeah. Let t equals the target. And then I can do like t dot set inner HTML. Oh, okay, yeah. But what was this trying to recommend for me before? Because what I have here is an event target, which is great, but like event and event target, great. Go to event target, perfect. Event target. Great. What can you do with an event target? I didn't know that this was just an event target. How do I get to the DOM? Rust event target DOM. Get element from this. Target unwrap. Dynref as an HTML. Okay, so something like this. So now it's some type of HTML element. I don't like the clone here, so let's not do the clone. And then T is a reference to our HTML element. So T dot set inner HTML. Let event target equals, yep. Event target dot dynref unwrap set inner HTML. So this is going to just delete the button and replace it with text. And let's bring mobile a little close up, easier to find. Cool. Oh, and it did inner HTML. So it replaced the inner, not the outer. That makes perfect sense. Yay. Whoa. Oh, because I have this on anything with a click. I forgot about that. This isn't only things that are have the attributes. Totally forgot about that. Everything we click, it's just trying to replace it with a new H1 appeared, which is also just like, you clicked me. Yeah, there we go. So now no matter what I click, it's going to replace that thing with the words, you clicked me. That's hilarious. Oh, but it worked. It worked really well. Okay, so now I, though, want this to be able to call some endpoint. And earlier I found, so I want to make some HTTP calls. And there's this one, which HTTP requests that are targeting both native and WASM, then this is the crate for you. So this does both. And the given callback is called when the request is completed. You can communicate the results back to the main thread using some of these things. I don't know if I want to use that actually. Rust WASM fetch. Using fetch. There we go. wasm-bindgen futures. We're gonna need that one. Oh yeah, this is used in eGUI web a lot. Oh yeah, like the callback style and all of that stuff. Yeah, I didn't love that, so we're gonna try doing it differently. Unless you mean the future stuff. Oh, and I can just make this. Oh, can I make this an async function? No. Oh, well, not if you put it in the wrong spot. Use of undeclared crate. Oh, cool. I just need to add wasm-bindgen futures, which I just did. Do I need to add it with anything? No, it doesn't say so. Use of undeclared wasm-bindgen futures. Oh, did I add it to the server? Dang it. Ergo remove wasm-bindgen futures. Run end. Ergo add wasm-bindgen futures. There we go. Now this can be async. Hey, Tobs on Twitch. How's it going? Thanks for stopping by. You're catching the tail end of this stream. We're getting started on a new WASM project. And so we're going to build something like an HTMX kind of framework. So more based on adding attributes to the HTML and then having that, you know, do some interactivity. So what I'm trying to do right now is we're going to click this button and it's supposed to replace the image with a new random image. And so we're getting pretty close, and I think we're going to wrap up once we get these images replacing. So all we are trying to do now is get fetching to work. Did I shave? Yes, I did shave. I had needed to shave for a long time, and finally happened recently. So feels good. Feels good to shave. So one thing that I want to do here is this callback. I don't like it firing on everything. P dot attributes, no method attribute, get attribute, yes, get attribute. I want to get the attribute CJA click, I think is what I called it. Let adder, actually, so get attribute dot is none. If it's none, we just return out of this. Awesome. Chin too hairless to shave. Okay, so now I think if I click things, yeah, only this button now can be replaced with my clicky because I added this. You know, if you don't have this attribute, just return early thing. So that's nice. Okay, so I would really like to be able to do some asyncy stuff from inside this callback. That could be a bit difficult, but we're gonna see how it goes. So I need all of these things from WebSys. So let's do those real quick. And let's just take this whole thing, convert this other promise into a Rust future. Okay, so can I do any of this from within my closure? I kind of doubt it. I keep forgetting where I want to be. Import it, import it, import it. Oh, WebSys. Okay. Unwrap. Dot unwrap. Get JS future into scope. Get response into scope. WASM future. Rust. I'm looking for this one. Yeah. Spawn local. That's what I was looking for. Runs a Rust future on the current thread. The future must be static. It'll be scheduled to run in the background and can't contain any stack references. The future will always be run on the next microtext tick, even if it doesn't immediately returns ready. Spawn local. Expected JS future to be a future that resolves to this, but it resolves to something. Yeah, that makes sense because I can't just do that. Spawn local wasm-bindgen example. Opus says, I hope someone eventually just makes something like Vue and Rust. You and everything being React based makes me a little sad. Have you heard of Leptos or checked out Leptos? I've heard it's pretty good and a little bit different than the others. I don't know Vue enough to say whether it's like that. But I've heard people, that's what I was looking for, this async move block. I've heard good things about Leptos. I don't think I got that right. Okay, async move, this gets closed by that. There we go, missing a paren there. Okay. Okay, so now we can await that. Awesome. Okay, so then let response equals that. Response is a JS value. Perfect. If I don't want to set headers. Cool. Response value. Okay, so that's what this was supposed to be. Response. cool, but like what are you? You have a body. Want body to be a string. So response dot body. Oh, text is probably what I want. That's fine. Remove the await. Oh, it's not a future. Text. Ah. Wait, I thought it said it was a feature. I thought unwrap. I thought text gave me a result of a promise. So I unwrap it and it finds a promise. So then I should await it. Do I need this? JS future from? Ah. Yep. Okay, so now if we unwrap that, we're getting closer. Oh, but I lost my back there. Lepto seems to take more inspiration from something like solid.js, where it's like React, but the pseudo function stuff has more sensible names. That's fair. I definitely have heard Leptos compared to solid.js before, so that makes a lot of sense. Vue feels pretty Reacty to me from the little bit I know. What's different about it or cool? You know what I mean? Like why do I want that? If that makes sense. Okay, so now I have my body that's a string, and so now I can try to do the replacey bits, which I deleted. Oh no, they're right here. No, they might have been deleted because they're not. Oh, it's right here. To body. Nice. Okay. The URL here is let URL equals let some URL equals t.get attribute for oh wait, no, CJA click is the URL. Let some URL equals this, else return. Yay! I love let else. Let else is great. URL. Don't need it. We already got the URL. Event does not live long enough. Event target does not live long enough. Argument requires that event target is borrowed for static. Is that why there was a clone at the end of this at some point? Yes, it was. I removed it because I didn't want it there, but it makes sense that it actually did have a purpose. So I think now I'm saying take the button and replace it with the image. But it worked. It worked great. Okay. So we're pretty close to doing what I want here. Let some method else some get. Yep. There's definitely a better way to write that. The else clause does not diverge. Yeah, it's like write it better. dot unwrap or get. Unwrap or else. Dot toString. Yeah. Change all that around. Awesome. Method can then be given to here so that I could do a post if I wanted. We don't have a post set up, but we're gonna get that wired up nicely. And then let some replace ID equals. Yeah, so if you don't have a replace ID, we're just gonna early return as well. And then we actually don't need my T for here, but I want document. I think I still have that in scope. Dot get element by ID, unwrap set inner HTML to the body response. There we go. Let's see if that works, and then I'll read your message there. It does not work. Okay. Do I get inline stuff? Yeah. Expected a closure that implements but the closure only implements once required for this. So let's just, I think part of it is that I'm using document again. Web, sys window unwrap, document unwrap. Is that better? Yeah, I thought so. Well, it's not doing anything. And let's, oh, nope, it's gonna be in my callback that I wanted to do this. So let's log. That's kind of cool, but it's not really what I wanted at all. And let's do the ID is the replace ID part. ID is replaceable image, but and then if I do window.document .get element by ID, nope, get element by ID, and I just do replaceable image. Oh, it does work. Okay, and if I do it with, okay, so I need to do it without that, which is fine because that's what I'm already doing. So get element by ID, I think should be working. Well, it's not erroring either. Oh. It doesn't make sense to set the inner HTML of an image tag. It's just not how it works. Boom. Is it working? No. No, it is not. So we got an unreachable here. Which could be any of my unwraps, I guess, right? Oh yeah, because one thing, so it actually might have worked and just got the same random image, but then it doesn't work the second time. And the one reason that it doesn't work the second time is that it doesn't have this ID on it in the response where it's on its own, which is a reasonable reason. Hey, look at that. Look at that. No page reloads, and next image is grabbing the thing and just replacing the image for us. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. I think we're probably going to wrap up here, but I definitely want to read some of Opus's messages and finish our chat. Opus says, for me, the big things about Vue versus React is that it doesn't feel like I'm fighting Vue constantly. I've never liked JSX either, which doesn't help. I always think names like ref, watch, and computed make more sense than things like useState, useEffect, and I'm not sure what the React equivalent for computed would be actually. Use memo, probably. I do React day to day, so it's what I know the best. Using Vue made me understand React more than writing React made me understand React genuinely. That's funny. I like that. Though regardless of framework, CSS will always be my worst enemy with front end. Oh yeah, that's pretty fair. There's just so many different beasts of front end that there's always something to want to change more for sure. For CSS, I've really gotten into Tailwind recently and just been using that for most everything. Maybe we'll do something different for this though. Maybe we'll try to do something differently because I kind of don't want to bring in Tailwind to this project because it feels like it would be more fun to do something more on our own. So yeah, I think let's do that. I'm pretty happy with getting our CJA click thing running. We can just drop buttons with this in there and tell it the ID you want to replace, and it'll take the content from that URL and give you replace the ID you tell it to replace. And it's working great. Couldn't be happier with that, honestly. So let's do a commit here. Things are coming along. We can click the button and get a new random image. This works by reading the tags on the HTML and finding the right URL and method to use. This works by adding the tags and finding the right URL and method to use. Then we replace the specified ID with the body of the request. All this works without a page load and no specific JS for this use case. Yeah, so it's kind of nice that front end doesn't know anything about our app here, right? It just knows how to do replacing and stuff. It's pretty frameworked away already, which is going to be the goal here, right? We're going to try to make a framework. Maybe front end will end up being a little appy and we'll make a new crate for our framework, or maybe front end alone is just going to be our framework and eventually it'll get a nice rename on it. And yeah, I think that's the plan. Oh, let's add to our plan doc. We're gonna, I guess I can say that we did this. Done on first stream. I just like counting them. I don't like doing the dates. So we did do that, and we did technically do this. Or we did that. This is the one that's like, technically. Create better layout. Just because it exists doesn't mean it's actually very good. We got the WASM setup all taken care of here. We are ready to start building the app. We got a very basic attribute working for clicking on a button and replacing a specified ID with the contents of a GET request. Something like that. Yeah. And I think that's about what I got for right now. Add to our plan doc. Let's push this all up. And I think that's going to do it for us for today. We got a nice little start, but definitely some more to take a look at from here. Here is our repo at github.com/CoreyJA/moodboards. You can check it out and see all the mistakes I've made on stream so far. We'll definitely add to a README here and get a better thing. Hopefully, eventually, we'll even have like a deployed app that people can click and play with on their own. But with that, I think I'm going to get out of here for the evening. Thanks, everyone, for a great stream. It has been a while since I did one of these weekday ones, so it felt really good, and I'm glad you all came out and hung out with me. So I hope to see some of you around, and I'll see everyone online later. Have a good evening, team. Thanks. Bye.